What's going on, workforce? Brian and Chris here, and today we're actually doing a deep dive into the special site. We've seen a lot of tweets and a lot of conversation about the updates to the special site, and a lot of people are inferring that maybe 6.0 we're getting more than they've said. And so we figured we'd talk about how it's happened historically, what the site itself says, not to douse your excitement, but just to hopefully set expectations. So come 6.0, we're not looking down the barrel of a gun and everybody's like, no, they said this was happening. Oceanic Data Center was happening on the 19th, and so we want to just clarify what's been stated and what is obviously coming. Good morning, Chris. You texted me. You're like, hey, Brian, there's a situation brewing. What can we do, man?
We only film in the morning when there's been news. We have a podcast coming in a few hours. So for me to text him now, I was like, hey, I think we need to do a PSA. Because we had somebody pop into chat and say, I'm really excited. They've updated the Endwalker site. Now I went to the Shadowbringer site. I couldn't get the 5.0 page to pull. It looked like they turned that into the 5.1 page or something like that. Mm-hmm. But as I looked through all the previous patches, the Shadowbringer site says Shadowbringers, the full header, and then each patch, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and so on. Mm-hmm. This one says the home, right? Which instead of saying Endwalker says home. And then after that, it says patch 6.0. And we would expect the others to be added over the next 2 years to come out, kind of expanding that menu to the right, which implies that this is the stuff coming in the opening patch. Even any subsequent half patch would fall underneath that header. So 6.0, 6.0.5, however many they have between now and 6.1, this is the content in it. There was a tweet that paired with this that said it's been updated with new details on Island Sanctuary, Data Center Travel System, Trust System, Housing District, and more. And so that feels like, okay, they're ready to tell us what's going on with some of these systems that people have massive questions about. Island Sanctuary, Data Center Travel, and Housing. And we know we're getting the trusts in 6.0.
Yeah.
This is all 6.0 news. And so you click that, and here's where I think people...
Well, it's easy. Let's say I'm just in here just scrolling on through, and it's like, oh, Endwalker's site's been updated. Oh, an Island Sanctuary, Trust System, Housing Districts, Data Center, and then it's like, I got to go to work. I'm going to bookmark this and come back. And then the whole time you're like, oh, they said this is actually happening. So I can see how within the way that social media and how people consume it, it can be easily said oh, all this is actually then happening. But let's go ahead and let's explore a little bit more. So where do you want us to hit first?
So I think the 6.0 tab is where I would naturally go, because that's got the little green dot, right? Just like in our inventory that tells us something's new. Mm-hmm. And so I would just kind of follow that and see, what does it say we're getting? And I click systems and it clicks me down, because I'm instantly like, I'm going to follow the green dot. What changed?
Yeah.
Systems, Mail Vieira. Cool. I already knew that. And I scroll down, and here's where I think it misleads people. What are we getting in addition to Mail Vieira? As Brian clicks through screenshots we already have. There it is. It's right there. 6.0, new systems, new updates, following the green dot. That's it. Data Center Travel, confirmed.
Oh, man, this gives me pause, because we know that they were targeting it prior to Endwalker. Mm-hmm. So this could be 6.0.1 or something along those lines. I would say on this, tentatively hold your expectations until November the 5th. Because if on November 5th, Yoshi P comes out and says, hey, by the way, then get excited. But whenever they also talk about, and we've covered this, we just have to keep covering it for especially new players, because we want to make sure that expectations is what gets you, in the end of the day, when it's like, oh, I thought this was happening. When they talk about a 6.0, traditionally that, even when they talk about 6.1, there's a whole 3-month period in which that content can roll out, even in the form of 2-week and 4-week periods from that initial date. So it's like, yes,
I would love for this to change. Yes.
It's excellent to see this confirmed here. One of the biggest frustrations, I bet, on their team is that they haven't been able to deliver on this due to multiple shortages in the silicon, and supply chain issue of 2022 or 2021, 2020 is there. So I'm excited to see it listed here, but this does not tell me that it's happening on the 19th, the 23rd. I would love for that to be the case, but I don't know if that's the right time to introduce this. That's why they usually do these systems prior to
So
the
now I want to
expansion.
dive in and find out, okay, well, let's look at the likelihood that this is happening. We've been wrong about things before where we're like, hey, temper your expectations, and then they do exceed expectations. So we
Yes.
scroll down, new housing district. They did imply that we might be able to visit it, but not build in it until 6.1. So you're like,
Purchase.
okay,
Yeah,
this could be
exactly.
real. We scroll down, we see another green dot, new trust ally, Estinian. We knew that. Okay, this is all real. Additional updates have been updated as well. Oceanic Data Center. And this is where I'm like, oh, this is 6.x. There's
Yeah.
no way Oceanic's ready for 6.0.
They were targeting it, as Yoshi
There's
P
no
said,
way.
6.1. Like that's what his original assessment and target was. Which then you start thinking, when would 6.1 be? If we go off of what has traditionally happened, that could be sometime in February, which would be kind of that early February maybe, to be that 6.1. Here's obviously the Mist of the Realm, and here's your Oceanic Data Center. So yeah, like I see how the longtime player in me says, oh yeah, this is coming in the course of 6.0, like in the course of 6. Endwalker. Oh great, yeah, we know that's coming. This is just them from a marketing perspective. The concern you have for the new player seeing this, because you've already seen it happen in chat, is that they're seeing this as a statement of on 6.0.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, that's
Correct. And if you scroll up to before the new systems, you've got Island Sanctuary, which that's been stated in an interview. I'm literally not ready to tell you about it until we feel we can even show screenshots and gameplay. Why would they say that 4 to 5 weeks out from an expansion?
yeah.
Like if you don't have gameplay, it is not ready. 5 weeks out, there should be the ability to do a brief showcase.
Yeah, and it's still the original artwork. I hope that I can plant some pumpkins though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like it is October, pumpkin season is in full force. I'm very very excited for that.
And like on this page, if you keep going back up, Myths of the Realm is on there. We know that's 6.1.
Yeah, and I hope that is the solidifying aspect, guys. So when you know that Myths of the Realm is 6.1, that should tell you that with what everything we're looking at on the marketing site, it is marketing for like, hey, this is everything we've talked about, and then that's going to roll out over the course of the expansion. Obviously, I think anything that's on this list here now is sooner rather than, like later in the expansion, right? Because we know we'll probably get a relic grind and things like that. That's obviously not listed here. They know, and they've talked about Deep Dungeon. That's not listed here, but that will be something that goes down the list. So I would say with relative expectation, if you think about 6.0 to 6.1, I would say between like that cycle of November to February, it's reasonable to say that like by February or maybe by March 2022, this is all in here. What's not actually listed though, which is interesting, is also a new Ultimate, because they like talked about Ultimate coming in 6.1, and that's obviously their target. We don't know if that's still on target, but nothing's listed there as well.
He's not only said it's their target, but they're actually trying to brainstorm how to get another one into Endwalker. So expecting 2 Ultimates this expansion is within the realm of possibility.
That'd be great.
It's not an assurance, it's not a promise, but and that's really what I want to take away. It doesn't mean all this couldn't be there. It doesn't mean they couldn't say, we just didn't want to tell you till we were sure. Oceanic Data Center Visit, Island Sanctuary, all coming in. But then, like, why is Mists of the Realm on the same page? Are you telling me that we're getting a new raid series, a new Savage series, a new expansion, I don't know, a 24-man, all in the same patch? 6.1 is what? Relic and Ultimate? Like, that's it? Or are we now on some new content cycle that's different than literally every expansion before it? So like that's where it starts to go, okay, this doesn't quite add up.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a change in the way they tweeted it and in the header that might be misleading people, especially to come out early in the morning. People are, like you said, they're just checking it, trying to go to work. And they're like, oh, wow, I didn't think Data Center Visit was coming, because they just scroll down. They just got a second. I'm just going to click to the green dot, There's my new system update. Cool. Close the browser, go to work, totally stoked. And that's how this could quickly become misinformation. That's how we thought we were getting Mail Era, and Shadowbringers was just taking a small piece of information that was meant to hype us and reading a lot into it. And so we've seen this before, and sometimes it works out, right? We're getting flying next patch in ARR. Well, that's a huge assumption. And then we did. We got it the next patch. But we're getting Male Vieira and Shadowbringers, and Brian going, no, we're not. You guys are all crazy. And then you were right.
Yeah.
So I would just temper expectations. We are getting a lot in 6.0. It is going to be the single largest content drop this game has ever gotten. I do not believe that is going to include the ability to visit friends. And remember that when we do get data center visit, it will be region locked at first with the intention of long-term making it worldwide.
Yeah.
Well, JPEU NA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's
gonna be interesting. I've been just kind of reading the reading the Yoshi P and the Square Enix blogs and coming up with my insane theories, getting those readings of, spider senses tingling. So I haven't shared my thoughts on what I've been calling in my mind the convergence. So we'll see if that ends up making it to a video. I want to, because it's always fun, whether I'm right or wrong, that it's like to look back, but it's especially awesome when it's like, oh my God, Brian called that.
So I'm going to spend unlimited editing hours on Brian's behalf right now. And
Okay.
I'm just going to make up the content I want to watch. I want your top 3 spoiler theories as movie trailers for Endwalker.
Yeah.
And just straight hype. Just make 3 movie trailers for me, like in a world, and and one of them's on convergence, and but they're all just total nothingness.
That I want to do that, and then the other thing I've been wanting to make is kind of like like one of those like, hey, do you suffer from lack of game goals? Have you struggled with male erectile dysfunction? Have you heard of Ashes of Creation?
It's gonna fix everything.
Is your marriage and your relationships, are they struggling? Well, ask your doctor about Ashes of Creation.
Are you the only one of your friends that doesn't like the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy XIV?
Have you spoken with a professional? Ashes of Creation. Ashes of Creation is a cure-all for all that ails you. Do you have billions of dollars?
New World, burn up your GPU.
Yeah.
Ashes of Creation.
Do you have billions of dollars and not know how to spend it? Ashes of Creation. Oh man,
Are you just now realizing crypto could have made you a lot of money and you misplaced your Bitcoin?
Ashes of
Creation.
All right, guys. Hopefully this has been a good day for you. A little bit of information for you in the morning. A little bit, hopefully clarification if necessary. See D-Nug in chat. What's up, dude? Good luck with your move, man. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us live. If you guys are watching this, you can go hang out with Chris live today. We've got a podcast, like we said, 10:30 a.m. Central. So that's coming up here pretty quick. So hopefully this video will be up before then. We'll see. And if not,
who's coming?
We got Momo and we got Cole. So we're gonna be talking Final Fantasy healers. So it's gonna be a good show. We're really excited to have them on. And then we got more stuff coming your way, guys. So we appreciate you. We love you. Thanks for being here. Smash like, favorite, subscribe, blah 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 blah. And do your thing. Do what you do. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time and take care.